Hello. I'd just like to say that the universe controls everything. Controls what I'm going to say in this video. Controls who's listening and watching this video. Uh, why it does that? How it does that? Well, let's just say we're humans. We're not gods. And if they want us to know, they'll let us know. And if they don't, they don't. But know that they do. They they they're giving it to us, spoon feeding it, a little bit at a time as we go on and we grow. Now, you could say they did this before with the Mayans, the Incas, the Egyptians, uh, all the great societies that are no longer here. Uh, Atlantis, if you want to add them, the Greeks, the Romans, you know. And you could say that they've reached a level of knowledge, of attainment. I mean, because we still don't know why those pyramids in Egypt are there, and there are many pyramids throughout the world, and some that we're still discovering because they've been grown over by the jungle or the forest, and we don't realize there's a man-made pyramid in there. We just think of it as a mountain, you know. But and why all these different civilizations built pyramids? We have no idea why. We have conjecture, we have theories, beliefs, you know. And even if we knew why they built them, we have no idea on how they built them, because it's pretty impossible. Especially the ones in Egypt are extremely huge, and there's nothing around them but desert. So where they got all the rock, how they got the rock to where it is, and all those questions that are still unanswered, you know, and will probably remain unanswered forever. But of course, we built our own form of pyramids. The Empire State Building, the Sears Tower, all those kinds of things, and all the other towers that don't have names. Um, you know, but I'm pretty sure we didn't build the Empire State Building for the same reasons they built the pyramids of Giza. So, yeah. And the Empire State Building was not as hard to build as the pyramids of Giza. And not only were they built the way they were built and how they were built, it's their uh, longitude and latitude numbers. They're very amazing how they line up and how there's just a lot more going on there than we will ever know. And, it's kind of like if you bury this iPad and somebody finds it 1,000 years from now, they won't know what it is, and probably there's no electric to charge it or to turn it on. Even if you could have the battery keep the power for 1,000 years, there would be no internet to run off of it. So you get the idea. It would just be a piece of glass to them, and they'd probably break it trying to figure out how to use it. You know, um, it's just, and we're so arrogant that we act like we know everything. Uh, we didn't go to the moon, but we believe we went to the moon and stuff like that. And, I would assume we're the first generation to go into outer space. We're not the first generation to want to or figure, you know, we're the ones who figured it out, supposedly, but I don't know. It's just each generation has its thing, you know. But if you look at the hieroglyphics in Egypt, they're standing there with laptops in their hands. So we can't say they didn't have computers back then. We just haven't found any, and maybe we did, and we didn't know what we found. You know, just like anybody who found this iPad 1,000 years from now won't know what they found. You know, so and then we're taught through the church, through our schools, they separate us from God. They don't bring us to God. They separate us from God. You go to church to put the priest between you and God, and once you do that, God's out of your life. You know, pretty much it's over. You know, and you have to pay the priest to bring you to God. You know, and you can go to God without a priest, and if you use a priest, God's not even going to notice you or recognize you because God is in here. He's in here. So you're looking for God on the outside of you, and right there's your first mistake. Uh, you know, we want quick answers and stuff. And so real answers take a long time. Look at those pyramids. It took a long time to build them, I would assume. And they built them on the assumption that whatever they were built for would work. And I would assume it worked because they built a couple of them. And throughout the world, they built a lot of them. So, yeah, I assume it worked. But we don't know what it worked for. It took a long time to build them all. A lot of manpower, a lot of animal power, effort. And I mean, to us now, it was for naught. But to them, it wasn't. You know? Maybe it was a portal system, how they portaled to another planet. And that's why we don't find them here. You know, and that's why the society died, it disappeared, because they portaled out to another planet. You know, and but we'll never know. But I don't know. It's just life, the mysteries of life. You know, mysteries. Let me make sure. I don't know if you can see it. God's message. God's messenger. That's what I try to do. I try to be God's messenger. I think God wants me to be God's messenger. And that's why He had me make this shirt. Makes me wear it. You know, just like this one. You know, so, this one for different reasons. You know, but, you know, a lot of the things the universe does, it might seem like it's for cruel reasons, and I don't think the universe is ever cruel. I think, like I say, there's no losers. There's only learners. And I think if you lost at something, the universe is trying to teach you a lesson. And that's basically how you should crack it up to be, you know. Might be a hard lesson. Might be a lesson you can't come back from, like murder. But nonetheless, a lesson. Uh, Maybe you'll carry the lesson that you learned into your next life, and you won't get to use it, your knowledge, or your wisdom in this life. But yeah, but a murderer, even in murderer in prison, can educate the younger people so that they don't end up like him or her, and they can use their wisdom to help others. Uh, but A lot of the people in prison don't learn lessons only because they're blaming somebody else for their problems. And as long as you're doing that, you're closing off the lesson. You know, it's like blaming the Yankees for losing a baseball game. And it's not the Yankees. You just didn't play good enough baseball to beat them. It's you. It's not the Yankees. You it's never good to blame someone else for your problems or something else. You know, but we do it a lot, whether we're right or wrong. I don't know. It's July 3rd, 2026. So tomorrow is July 4th, and our 250-year anniversary. And I want to wish you all a happy anniversary, a happy 4th of July. I hope you come away from this 4th of July with all your 10 toes and all your 10 fingers, if you have them today. Uh, so, you uh, I'll tell you, there was a guy that had a promising career in football, and I don't know that he was a pro yet or he was going in the direction to become a pro. And he ate uh, ice cream cake at a 4th of July party. He had ice cream cake, and I guess he got it on his hands. And he lit up a firework and tried to throw it, and the firework stuck to his hand and blew off his fingers. Not all of them, but destroyed his hand. And there went his football career. So, stay away from the fireworks. You don't need a football career to give you a reason. I think you like your hand, and I think you'd like to keep it. So, uh, it's not worth it. Go to a fireworks show where they do it professionally, and they usually don't charge for those shows. And just go and enjoy yourself. Have a happy 4th of July.